Hi guys, how's it going? I'm Enrique and this is Easy Things to Draw. I hope you're having a really great day. I had a pretty decent weekend, just kind of a sore throat. This particular video is going to be all about stylization within details, particularly the shading aspect, at least within pen. I know, super specific, right? Super specific. I'm going to start making really specific videos. Also, before that, if you like drawing videos, if you like drawing tutorials, if you like learning different art tips to improve your art, no matter what level you are, but preferably if you're like beginner or novice, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't. I'm going to be posting, basically I've been posting videos every other day, at least recently. I want to kind of keep that up. It's been a lot of fun. So please subscribe if you haven't, and also press the notification to get that notification when I put a video up, so you don't miss anything. Alright, let's kind of get into this. This concept, and I'm going to explain, is I kind of grew up with 90s comics. I grew up with Todd McFarlane, I grew up with Jim Lee, guys like that. And there is this weird concept, especially when you look at Todd McFarlane stuff, and the guy that took over his Spawn comic, I think Greg Capullo, right? Greg Capullo? Capullo? I don't know how you say his name. Capullo. And then you see it everywhere now. But I started seeing this like really wild style of shading, you know? And I was like, what the hell is that, right? This is like a little bit more of an advanced concept, right? If you don't know how to shade at all, I would definitely go check out my Shading 101 videos. That is going to be in the description. But if you have a decent idea of shading, there's obviously, and then there's obviously cross hatching involved in that as well as like a style of shading. Just check this out. Check out this concept. So there is these little. Okay, these are 3 upper arms. That's what I kind of drew in here, and I drew it in here to actually show you 3 styles of shading. This pen is very similar to a Micron. It's called an Artist Loft pen. It's pretty good. It's pretty much the same as a Micron. So when somebody shaded, they didn't just wrap the line around the form. They threw their own particular style, their pizzazz, their flair behind those particular strokes, for example. And I was always trying to figure out how to do that, and were those random? That's another thing. That was another thing. Were those completely random? Was this planned every time? If they did it before, would they do it again? You see these little nicks and scratches, especially if you look at those artists I was talking about. Like, where do you throw these little nicks? Where do you throw these little random nicks and scratches? Is there a rule for that? So I do want to talk about that. So generally what I've noticed, at least from people doing this, a lot of would be, you have to follow the form, right? You have to know the anatomy of this arm, for example, and you have to follow that form. And basically anything along this form, you can kind of put it almost wherever, really. Just kind of throw it where you feel like it. Obviously where you're somewhat designing, Like, where would this line, like let's say this tiny little line I make, would that lead the viewer in direction? You want to guide the viewer's eye, right? And you want to guide the viewer's eye around the form. You're either guiding the viewer's eye, or you're also just showing what it is in this form. Like this flat area right here. This is I forgot what muscle it's called. But there's a muscle in that area that kind of bulges out. So you throw in a little bit of line there, or you can throw in a massive amount of line. Massive amount of shadow, and that's part of the flair. But the flair and the style is built entirely on that, and then you can kind of go crazy with it, and then you experiment and see what that looks like. But the number one rule, though, don't forget, is you have to follow the form. See, that's one particular, let's say, style. That's pretty basic. Let me try to get a little bit crazy with this one. Maybe add some deeper shadows or something. Is that something way deeper? I'm taking that core shadow and darkening it up by pushing. Well, I can push down a little bit harder on this pen, but it's not really like that. But also, they're closer together. The lines over here, if you look at these, so I don't want to block you. The lines over here are more or less pretty separate. Right here, they're just bundled close together. And it's the same thing. You're following the exact same form. You're just bunching these lines closer together on purpose to achieve either maybe higher, maybe it's a stronger light source you're trying to achieve, or you're just straight up trying to achieve a different look. And honestly, normally in comics, they don't normally follow the rules. Not everybody, but a lot of them don't follow the rules in terms of like where the lights come. I mean, they do follow. They definitely follow the rules where the light's coming from, but they embellish it like crazy. Where it would never. It's hyper real. It would never be exactly like that in real life. I see guys do this, right? These little dots to add maybe a little texture, but at some point it's controlled randomness. And I see this mostly with these type of pens. You can do it in ballpoint as well, but I don't really see it as much in ballpoint. I see it more with fountain pens and pure inkings and things of that sort. For example, if I was to do it in this exact same style again, it would look completely a little bit different. Like the dots would be in slightly different positions. We're not robots. We're just kind of following this format. But kind of knowing about following kind of following the forms once you learn them. Again, if you don't know the anatomy, go to my anatomy video. I'm going to also post that in the description below. But just knowing that, there's so much room to play around in. And like I said, that would be your own personal decision and your personal style. Doesn't look like on camera. You can connect it all the way down as well. I do that a lot. Connect the shadow pattern all the way down. Maybe if you want to reveal more form, you want to reveal almost all three heads of the bicep. Oh, I'm sorry, the deltoid top. Like, how much do you want to show? You show it through these little nicks. You show it by having more information available, and kind of how you're displaying that information. Let's do this other one. Let's do the last one really wacky. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to do similar lighting, but I'm going to do... I forgot who that artist was. I think it was Lee Bermejo, I think. Was it another comic artist? He did these bizarre Christmassy looking things. It looks like hair or something. But I'm trying to keep, for example, okay, so with these lines, I'm actually curving the line. Right here, I'm actually, even though I'm bunching it up, there's still a slight bend in the line that I'm putting in. These I'm going to try to keep completely straight. And that's going to be my goal when doing that. I'm going to try to keep it completely straight, but also following the form it's on. And see, that's just like an arbitrary decision. It's not too arbitrary, but that's just basically a style decision. and you can create your own. You know, a lot of artists create their own style decisions, and they become sometimes, you know, pretty popular because of it. It separates their drawings from other ones. Although, I mean, I do agree that almost every style's been done, but sometimes they resurface in really interesting ways, and you know, it's unique enough where that people will be like, wow, that is super unique. You know, it is unique enough for the viewer, for the audience of the time. I mean, you see that stuff with, like, for example, Alex Ross. You know, he's obviously a painter, and he brought back a look that he has this very golden agey look to his stuff, and he kind of brought it to now. He brought basically brought like fine art to comics. It felt like that's in the same vein as this. You know, you're finding your particular style to, you know, bring to your drawings. This is an advanced concept, like I said. To do this, you have to know anatomy and, you know, just like well, really the anatomy and just kind of how form works. You know, most of this, honestly, we're just doing upper arms, so that's really almost entirely anatomy. And you kind of have to know a lot about shading as well, at least basic shading, to actually kind of implement this. So, but if you implement this kind of thing, you know, like finding your own style without really knowing how to draw, it's gonna really mess you up, honestly. So that's why I almost thought about putting like a warning video like on this, like put like this is intermediate. At least upper beginner, intermediate. You know, you at least got to draw a little bit to really get this, because this is the coating. It's the, how do you say this? It is like the creamy part of the cupcake. I don't know how to say it. It is what you put on top of it, but without anything underneath it, you just have a pile of mush. Anyways, I kind of hope that kind of mildly clarified some things for you in terms of like comics and things of that sort. Those things tend to be controlled randomness when they go into detail, and the detail's built upon this already really strong structure of information that they have, and you could and that's when you really start messing around, just doing whatever you want, doing stuff like this. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot, guys. If there's any questions on that, please comment, and I can make maybe a follow-up video for clarification. I'm trying to put up videos every other day. I think this week I might put them up every day. We'll see. They're really fun to make recently. So anyways, talk to you guys later on, and check out my website, refinethedesign.com, for prints and stickers and these program called Art Boost videos, and those are videos basically going over the mental aspects of art and how that affects artists and holds people back way longer than they should be. You know, especially kind of when you're at that level where you're thinking like, I should be much better than I am right now. I don't know if you've ever been in that, but I was in that for a long time. I'm like, I should be way better for the amount of time I'm putting into this, and I'm not. Why? And you know, I made 22 videos entirely on that topic, talking about it being mostly a mental thing, because that's what it was for me, and that's what I did. So anyways, go to refinethedesign.com to check that out. I'm not going to put a link in the description. I'm just going to straight up you know, write it down on the screen. So I'll see you guys later, and you know, see you soon.